S.A., tell me this. Do you feel like the Chiefs were disrespected this year with some of the narratives and conversations we had earlier on the season?
Absolutely, positively not. I think it's the most utterly ridiculous thing that has ever come out of the mouth of my brother from another mother, Travis Kelce, who I love dearly. This brother, I don't know what he's talking about. He's off his rocker, and so is everybody else. We chronicled what was transpiring. What the hell are we supposed to do? Ignore drop passes? Travis Kelce, in collaboration with Tyreek Hill, the McCole Hardmans of the world and others, spent years spoiling us, not just because of how prolific and proficient their offense was, but how talented they was and how devoid of mistakes they were accustomed to making.
Right.
They weren't doing the kind of things we saw from the Kansas City Chiefs this year. And so when you saw, whether it's Marquez Valdez-Scantling, who I'm so happy for because he did his thing, got a touchdown yesterday, even though he caught a pass and went backwards for a few yards, almost blowing things. Oh, you want to throw something at them. How idiotic can you be? Even Chris Jones and Patrick Mahomes, like, what the hell are you doing?
Yeah.
But he made up for it. But the bottom line, because Patrick Mahomes went right back to him and threw a touchdown, threw a pass for a first down. What I'm saying to you is this. When you've watched them throughout this year, they were dropping an inordinate amount of passes.
Right.
We chronicled that.
That's
what are we supposed to do? Oh, you won Super Bowls before, so ignore the fact that you're dropping passes now?
Right.
That's nonsense. And so to say they were disrespected, they were not disrespected.
Right.
We were highlighting what we saw.
Yes.
And when we saw it different, we said so.
Yes. No, it wasn't. Because you, as Stephen A. mentioned, you led the league in drops. Your tackles, your offensive line led the league in penalties. Patrick Mahomes was getting pressure. Patrick Mahomes did not play to the level that we had grown accustomed to Patrick Mahomes playing. And it's okay to say that. I don't know why people, two things can be true. The Kansas City Chiefs offense did not play well in the regular season. The Kansas City Chiefs won the Super Bowl. Both things are true, Dio.
Yeah,
but the
right.
offensive line wasn't very good. The wide receivers, they weren't playing up to like what they played came postseason time.
Correct.
It is okay to say that. Our job is to evaluate because we are a weekly, we're a daily show, but we come on, you play a weekly game, so we evaluate week to week. The one thing about pro sports is that you get to update your resume on a weekly basis if you play football. So that's what we do. We talk about things on a weekly basis. Kansas City, you were phenomenal in the postseason. But I guarantee you, had you played like you played in the regular season, this would not have been possible. So you know what? Let's remove the if. You didn't play as well as what we had come accustomed to seeing you play in the regular season, but you put it together during the postseason. Congratulations, you're Super Bowl 58 champs.
Yeah, I agree with a lot of the things that you guys said. I do think that people were ready to throw the dirt on them. You know, I do think that everyone, just on the show Friday morning, Mad Dog himself was like, I'm tired of them. You know, there's the fatigue, Kansas City fatigue. So I don't want to say disrespect, but there were people certainly, you know, ready to try to be the first one to say, told you the Chiefs were done. I know people who said last year that they wouldn't make the playoffs. I think everything that you guys are saying is accurate in regards to, you know, the drops and the penalties. They were 2-3 in December. Week 16, they got dump trucked by the Raiders. Week 17, they had to, I don't want to say squeak by Cincinnati with a backup quarterback, but they didn't dominate that football game. So, like, there is the reality to your point, Shannon and Stephen A., that they did not play good football this year. But I remember throughout the year being asked, who's the team to beat in the AFC? Who's the team to beat in the AFC? Are the Chiefs still the team to beat in the AFC? And what was said was, they're still the team to beat. This is just their most beatable version. So there is an element of team, and I was probably guilty of it too. Like people, you know, ready to say, yes, the Chiefs, they're done. Well, we told you we were right about Tyreek Hill, or we were told
right.
There was that as well.
Well, first of all, why do we have to go there? I mean, you're the football analyst extraordinaire, Dio. Let me ask you a question. College or pros? Because you do both. Even when you're calling games for the Australian networks and all of this other stuff, okay?
Mate.
Okay, mate. Yes. Here's the deal. Here's the mate. All right. Here's the deal. Here's the deal.
Yeah.
I don't give a damn what you're watching on any level, high school, college, or pros. If you see a bunch of receivers incapable of catching passes.
Yeah.
What else would you say about them other than they don't look good?
You're
On
dead on.
any
You're right.
level, for any team, that's what happened.
Yes.
They were dropping passes. We didn't sit up there, even though Patrick Mahomes wasn't playing great, Shannon. What did we point out? Why? Because he's trying to engage in hero ball because he realized the personnel that he has isn't what he once had. We even saw Travis Kelce drop a couple of passes, which we never thought we'd see. But we didn't worry about that because we know who he is. But when we saw Valdez-Scantling, you even did a breakdown of how, certain conditions under which he's not going to catch the ball.
Look how difficult you made that touchdown catch last
Exactly. I'm just saying, you
he
see
fought
all
it.
of this,
He
okay?
fought it. He
Okay,
fought it.
all right. Rice and others. You go out and get McCole Hardman. McCole Hardman was on the New York Jets.
And they let him go.
Couldn't get on the field. They let him go. So when you're looking at it from that perspective, it's like, damn, what are we supposed to say? Oh, they got Patrick Mahomes, so they're going to be all right. Because we were thinking the one thing Patrick Mahomes cannot do, he cannot do is catch.
Yeah.
He cannot catch the ball
No,
for the receivers he throws the ball to. He
Steve
can't
A.
humanly do that. What
I
were we
don't
supposed to
disagree.
think?
No, I'm not sitting here saying we accurately misrepresented who they were this year. I don't think we were unfair in that regard. But I do believe there was like that level of excitement by everybody being like, see, they're finally done.
Because we're aching for parity. Because think about it this way. You're aching. Like, listen, and I said this, even though I picked Kansas City to win this game and Patrick Mahomes to be MVP, what I said was, if San Francisco wins this game, it's better for the sport of football because I don't believe the Chiefs' offensive line is going to be a suspect next year.
He's not missing Tyreek. You just watched him for an entire season. He just has to do it a different way. And because of the adversity, because of the drops, because of the offensive line, the penalties, and the shaky offensive line play, and Patrick Mahomes not being what the Patrick Mahomes that we had grown accustomed to and loving, for them to get to this point is nothing for me. I did not see it. I said it before. I thought they were going to be one and done because I'm basing everything on the right now. I didn't worry about Patrick Mahomes' greatness because I had seen enough of him to know what it is. But receivers dropping balls, I'm like, bro, I hadn't seen the Chiefs do this. And the offensive line play hasn't been this suspect since that Super Bowl in which they got beat down by Tampa.
That's right.
So I'm just basing everything on what I see. I see better than what I hear. I heard what y'all was saying, but I know when I watched them games, I watched that offensive line let people run through like a sieve. I watched the holding calls. I watched the drops. I can only make my evaluations on what I see, not what you tell me.
The reason why I said while they were their most vulnerable, they were still the team to go through was because of the defense. And because listening to Patrick and Andy Reid, every game they were like, if we just clean it up, if we just stop beating ourselves, we can beat anybody. And that defense was spectacular. I guess, like, Stephen A., when it comes to, like, your fluid list, that list that is fluid.
It's fluid.
Were they in your top five? Were they in your top five? It's like we got into like week 15, or so. Were they in the top five?
Yes.
They were?
Yes. It was fluid.
Sure?
No, I moved it.
Yeah, we dropped it.
Back and forth.
We dropped it. We dropped them. We
kicked them out?
We dropped them. Yeah. Because I think they had lost like a couple of games. Like, remember they lost to Denver.
They lost 2 out of 3 in December. But Stephen A., they were not in your top 5.
Not after they got boat raced by the Raiders and stuff like that. But at the beginning they were, and then as the weeks waned, it was like I had to move them up out of there. But by the way, you pointed out how you trust what you see, not what you hear. Here's, as a scribe, as a reporter all of these years, here's what I would tell you. NFL, NBA, doesn't matter what sport it is. They want you to go by what you hear because what you're hearing is usually from them.
Exactly.
They don't want you to go by what you see. They're actually upset that when you sit up there and say, I see 1 + 1, I know it equals 2.
Yeah.
Now, you can talk to me schematically about anything that you want to, but when I see people dropping passes that are in their hands, I don't need to engage in schematics. I'm looking at you drop. Whatever scheme you had was good enough to put the ball in your hands, and you couldn't hold on to it. That was the Kansas City Chiefs, worse than anybody this regular season. Facts. So that's not disrespect.
Normally, D.O., I'm selling you a house. And you're like, okay, hey, here's this house. I'm telling you, I'm describing everything about it. It has a pool. I mean, it has a everything is great.
Ground?
No, hey, we got a 5,000 square foot basement. I mean, it's just laid.
That's about right.
Can I do the walkthrough? Yeah. No. Just take my word for it.
No.
You want me to put this
I
kind
want
of
the
money down? No. Don't work. When can I do the walkthrough? No, I don't want you to do the walkthrough. You
Then
see
you
what
ain't
I'm
get my
saying?
money.
I'm not listening to what the Chiefs tell me. I'm looking at what I see on television. And what I saw was a team that led the league in drop from receivers. I saw the offensive line that was the most penalized and the suspect play. That's what I saw. And even Patrick Mahomes, and I said it, since he became a starter, statistically, this was his worst season.
Dan,
Was it
what
not,
did you
Dio?
see? What did you see?
Did he say a 5,000 square foot basement?
Yeah, he's in it. It's stupid.
Yeah. You ain't
He's got like 8 shows.
That's about right.
Well, I tell
He's got like
my
8
bad.
different
Yeah,
shows.
Told
He's a Hall of
told
Famer.
yourself.
He's got
Look at
a
him,
bunch of
the
Super
Austin
Bowl
Powers,
rings.
the spy who
You
shagged.
live in the Four Seasons?
You know what I'm saying?
Dale, everybody ain't gonna be. I'm gonna be cheap. I'm cheap to a lot of things, but I ain't gonna be cheap to myself. I'll be cheap
You
to
know
a
what I
lot of
said?
other people.
You
but not
invest
me.
in yourself.
You know what? That's
Shannon,
another
as
example
you
of.
should.
I was talking. I told Jeff Saturday this morning.
Yeah.
The reality is, I just wish I was better at football, because then I wouldn't have to take a red eye home and do. Shannon,
You don't have to
Oh,
take
you took a
red
red
eye home.
Dan
you don't
Orlovsky.
have to do that. That's a lie.
Time out. He's lying to the American
Yeah, you
public
are.
as usual. He does everything. The other day we were out at the restaurant. He was out with the NFL Live crew and had this
You were?
big fat smile on his face and was bragging about the
thanks
fact that
for
he
the
wasn't
invite.
going to be paying. I got there, Molly. We were at the restaurant. We were at the table next to
Steve
Dan
Nair's not a part of
Orlovsky.
NFL Live.
Are you listening, Molly?
Yeah,
I know
yes.
you don't. I know you rocking the sleeveless. Listen.
No, but
okay?
he's just saying
were
it's an
out at
NFL
dinner.
Live dinner, and you
we
were
were
invited
We
too.
were
I
out
didn't
at
know.
dinner. We
Yeah.
were there for 2 hours.
Yeah.
Dan, you couldn't go 1 minute without seeing Dan eating. Ate the whole time.
Yeah.
I mean, and didn't pay for a damn thing. One think about it.
He don't know where.
One think about it.
Cause he's
Who
so
paid
cheap,
for
he
it?
don't know where his next good meal coming from. He's so
No, I
cheap.
paid for my fare.
Who was at this NFL Live dinner?
NFL Live. It was me, Marcus, Mina, Laura, Marcus's boy Trell, and RC was like with his family and his people.
And Stephen A.
He was
there, too?
eating.
Stephen A. came in with his sister. I got to meet his lovely
Oh, that's
sister.
interesting.
Oh,
Oh, Marcus,
He
that's
came
cool.
in. He was
I didn't know
eating.
Stephen A. was on
He was
NFL Live.
eating more than Swagoo. Think about
I
that.
ate a lot. I ate a lot
Think
that
about
day.
You did. You
Yeah.
probably fasted the next day.
Yeah.
All right,
When
Sam
you
wants
got
us to
three,
bump.
when you got 3 or 4 kids, there's a lot of Vienna sausage and potted meat. So when you get a chance to get a good meal, you scarf it down.
He knows. He knows. He knows. I
Kids,
can't.
kids,
Oh, you guys
Coming
have
up.
chicken nuggets again. Great.